Speaker this evening has been on radio shows in New York and California. It's been written about in several newspapers and magazines, including the national magazine Country America. He has also appeared on national TV on TNN's National Now. He has 5 albums to his credit and another one on the drawing board. And let me introduce to you now, Father's going to tickle you to your toes, Mr. Tommy Joe Breaux.
Tell about all my personal stuff. He puts me behind these kids. Ain't they wonderful? I know talent when I see it, and y'all have it there in Clinton, Kentucky. I'm telling you that right now. But when Tommy first come up there and started talking, he told you all about that 60% sex and all that. And it reminded me of a little story about these 3 fellas would all pass away and they all get up to the pearly gate. The first one said, St. Peter, but I'm coming down. No, boy, he said, you can't come in there. He said, you know what, the only thing in your life what you ever did was drank. He said, you love that so much, look, you married a girl named Sharon. The next fellow come up there, he said, well, St. Peter, could I come in there? He said, no, boy. He said, the only thing in your life what you ever did want was that money. Did everything you could get to get that money. You love that money so much, you married a girl named Patty. The third fellow was a Cajun. He started to walk off. St. Peter said, where you going, boy? He turned around. He said, with a wife named Fanny, I know I ain't got no money. When some people thought of a Cajun, they thought of somebody that could look at a rice field and tell you how many gallons of gumbo it took to cover that. Well, that's right. And some people thought that's them people that don't talk about like everybody else. Well, that's right too. But Cajun is the mutilation of the word Acadian. The Acadian is a group of people who would move out of France into Nova Scotia. And there they settled down and everything was going on fine. Till one day the Queen Mama over there in England, she took a notion. She said, I'd like to take a piece of property what they got over there. Well, the king, you know, he's like any other husband, and he don't want to leave that wife's complaint department open too long, you know. So he sent some people over there, they talked with them Acadian people. And they told him, look, you're going to have to swear allegiance to the king and queen of England. But they said, my hell, no, we ain't going to get that, you know. So they don't swear to him, they swear at him, and real good too. So they all loaded up in some little boats, and they started down the east coast of the United States, and some settled in Virginia, some in Georgia, they come around Florida, a lot of them settled there. A lot of them settled on the Alabama, Mississippi Gulf Coast. Most of them wound up in South Louisiana, and some of them had some real good navigators on their boat. They wound up in Texas somewhere, you know. But with them early settlers, they brought with them this little thing, what we call Cajun humor. It's where we laugh at ourselves and everybody else and pass a good time. And I like to start passing a good time, especially with you ladies, by telling you all about my friend Punu. Not long ago, Punu's wife took a little church lady vacation with some friend of hers, you know. So I went past by to see how Punu was dead, you know, and then he was just rubbing the board. I said, Punu, man, what you did there? Oh, Tommy Joe, he said, man, the wife's out of town, and me, I got to take care of the house, the baby, everything. He said, you know, today I'm cleaning them diapers. Oh, Shay, he said, you got to get them things good and clean for the babies, yeah? I said, oh, no, but you ain't got to do all that. I said, man, go to the store. Why do some of them diapers like what they said? He said, what's that? I said, oh, man, they come in the box. They got the plastics, the glue, everything. Man, you just glue him on that baby, and that's all what you got to do, you know? Man, a few days later, I went past by, and there was Punu rock on the porch. He looked at me, he said, I can't thank you enough for telling me about them diapers. So he said, gave me plenty of time to rock on the porch and did other things around the house like that. I said, well, Punu, you know, I'm glad you like that. And just about that time, I looked down and the little baby hand was crawled across the porch, and that diaper was all runs down and come unglued. I said, Punu, baby, don't you thought it's about time you changed that toy? He looked at me, he said, don't you worry about that. He said, you know me, I read on that box, that little diaper, man, it's good for 10 to 12 pounds. wife going on that little vacation reminds me of the time my cousin Elmo and his wife Marie took a little vacation. And somehow or the other, Elmo kind of got separated from the rest of the family. And after 2 days, Marie noticed that Elmo was missing, you know. So she went down to the police department there in the town where they was at, and she asked the policeman, she said, "I know, could you help me find my Elmo?" The policeman said, "Yes, ma'am." He said, "We could help you find Elmo, but we need you to give us a subscription of what Elmo looked like him, you know." Marie said, "Well, he's 6 foot 3 inches tall. He got blonde hair and blue eyes, and a body like one of them chip and dip dancers." But my friend Yola was with her. She said, "Marie, who in the world are you talking about?" She said, "That Elmo him, he's short, fat, bald-headed, ugly." Marie said, "Hush your mouth, girl, before that man hurt you. If I get something look like that, who wants Elmo back?" But folks, I'm going to tell you, them two always fighting about something. Not long ago, Elmo come home from work, and man, there was Marie, stood there admiring herself in the mirror. He looked, he said, "Marie, what you been doing with yourself there?" He said, "Man, the house is all messed up. There ain't no suppers on the table. We have been in the field, been out in the bayou catching crawfish, and man, the whole house is all messed up. What you been doing with yourself there?" Marie said, "Elmo, this morning I went to the doctor, and he told me I had one of the most beautiful complexions of any woman what he ever saw." He said, "Is that right?" What he said about that big behind you got that. Marie looked at him, she said, "Elmo, your name wasn't ever mentioned, you know." The only thing that kept them two together is their boy and Elmo. Now, they both loved that little boy. And one day, Elmo come home, man, he's all excited. You know, he said, "Oh, Marie, Marie." He said, "You don't believe that test what I got to get on little Elmo there." She said, "What kind of test is that?" He said, "Watch this." So man, he goes over to the coffee table in the middle of the living room there, and on there he put a $10 bill. He said, if he took that $10 bill, he's going to be a money-hungry beggar. Man, next to that, he laid the Bible. He said, if he took that, he's going to be one of them long-winded preachers. Next to that, he put fit for whiskey. He said, now, if he took that, he's going to be a no-good, dirty bum. So man, him and Marie go hide in the corner, and after a while, here comes little Elmo. Man, he sees all that stuff down on the coffee table, you know, and he walk over there and pick up that $10 bill, look him over and put him down. He pick up the Bible and run his tongue through that, you know, and put him down. Pick up that fifth of whiskey, unscrew that cap, then took him a big sniff and put him down. Then it looked like all in one motion. He grabbed the $10 bill, jammed it in his pocket, threw the Bible under one arm, grabbed that fifth of whiskey in the other hand, and started walk off. Big Elmo started to shoot. He said, look at that, Marie. The boy's going to be a politician, I guess. The closest that to ever come to romance is on that 25-year silver anniversary. They go down to New Orleans and they check in the Motel Leon Hotel. Now that's fancy. And they get in there, you know, and Marie told Elmo, she said, Elmo, I'm going to go up to the room and got myself fresh up, you know. He said, but while you up in the room fresh up, he said, me, I'm going to go over there in the barber shop and get myself fresh up too at the same time. So man, he goes in there and he told that barber, he said, it's my anniversary. Gave me the works. So man, he's in there getting the shave, the haircut, the shampoos, this everything, you know. And old Elmo kind of noticed this dark-eyed, good-looking little Cajun girl kind of sitting over there in the corner. Well, Elmo, you know, he don't know what that girl did, because she gave them, how they call them, manure cure on their fingers, you know. And then he was looking at her, and she was looking back at him, and he could feel the electricity going between the eyes like that, you know. And then pretty soon, here come that good-looking little dark-eyed Cajun girl, and she took his hand. She goes, hello, would you like me to push back your cuticle? Elmo said, no, ma'am. He said, I ain't that kind of husband. And beside that, it's my anniversary. I think I'm just going to walk around and let it push back by itself, you know. Man, he gets up to that room, the bed, got her negligee and all that on, you know, and he hopped in the bed with her, and she looked. She said, Elmo, when we was young, and you know, you see me like that, you hold me close, and he hold her close. She said, Elmo, when we was young, and you hold me close like that, you used to give me a big kiss. So Manny gave her a big kiss. And she said, Elmo, when we was young, and you hold me and kiss me like that, you know, you used to nibble on my ears and bite on my neck a little bit too, you know. Man, when she said that, Elmo come straight out the bed. Man, he started walk off. Remember, he looked, she said, Elmo, where are you going? He said, where you going? He said, I'm going to get my teeth. Because I don't know about you folks here in Kentucky, over there in Louisiana, they have a lot of bayous and stuff, and they have them flash floods. And the rain comes in real hard from everywhere, and the rivers, they can't, you know, hold all that water, so they get big floods over there all the time. And then shortly after they finish with that honeymoon trip, they have one of them in Breaux Bridge. I was over storytelling, talking about Flounder Philo and his wife Philae wouldn't be the same. And Grandpa said they called this guy Flounder because both his eyes was kind of over there on the same side, you know. And his wife, they called her Philae because she weighed about 75 pounds soaking wet with a full stomach curve. And old Flounder was a crab trap salesman that traveled all through Louisiana. And then one night he was traveling the back roads, you know, kind of like what we had to do to get here to Clemens, you know. And it was kind of got late, you know, and he stopped at this place called Duvig Dugason's Hawk Heaven Hotel. So he went there, he said, my friend, he said, give me a room for the night, man, I'm tired. Duvig said, my friend, he said, I hate to be the one to pass that room. He said, but we got a big oyster shuffle convention in town. And he said, we don't got no room left in the whole place, man, everything's took up. Flounder said, my friend, look, you don't understand. He said, me, I'm about to fall asleep in the wheel, and yeah, I'm going to kill myself and somebody else too there at the same time, and you got to have something. Duvig said, well, we got one bed left in the whole place. He said, but that's an old Leo the maintenance room. And he told Flounder, he said, there ain't nobody could stay in the room with Leo because he snores so bad. Flounder said, just give me that bed and I'll take care of the rest. So man, the next morning he go to check out. Duvig was there, he said, you passed a good night, huh? Oh, Flounder said, man, you passed a good night. He said, man, how in the world did you stay in the room with Mayo snoring bad like that? Flounder said, well, last night, he said, when all the lights went out, he said, I could hear old Mayo in the other bed over there just, man, dozing off good, you know. He said, so I went over there and kissed him full on the lips. Flounder said, Mayo stayed up all night watching me, and me, I slept like a baby.